What is going on, guys? And today we are back in the mix. Another stream coming at you here. Actually, the table looks okay right now. Maybe a little smaller, just a little bit. That looks good. Playing a little PLO capped at the moment. I'm here with the suited jack. Moxie 5X's it on us. This is probably just a fold. No problem in folding. And there's the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Basebaldy. He is here. Well, welcome everyone. If you're watching on YouTube, so guys, like what you see, please like and subscribe. Any questions or comments, you can put them down below. See if we can find a second table here in a little bit. There's a 30-60 game going, but it is out of the requirements of the bankroll of the challenge. So, I'm going to focus on this one right now. If you guys can get a hold of me, my email is down below. As always, if you guys want to record up to 1 hour on Phenom and send it in, more than happy to review it. Also, more than happy to go over it by myself or with someone else. And if you guys are looking to open a Phenom account, there's a link below. If you guys are watching on Twitch, there is a link there. It says on Phenom. That will take you right to the registration. Or if you're on YouTube, there's a link below. Or you can just use code LMG at sign up. And if you let me know, that will help me in the challenge going forward. Plus, I can keep making this great content for you guys. Ace Jack Deuce 8 here on the button's probably a fold. It's either a fold or it's one of those hands where it becomes a raise as a raise fold basically. A lot of your hands, if you kind of look at the 40 big blind solve, kind of wants to like limp some of the suited aces to see a flop, and then it'll call a raise, and then this type of structure, I think it will just like want to raise fold. And then it's really good double suited combos, good structure hands. It'll just want to raise, basically kind of get it in, maybe see some flops depending on what structure it is. But Baldy streams too, I think every Tuesday and Thursday from around 1 p.m. Pacific to 3. He's trying to get new people introduced into the games as well. And Baldy tried to do all the trapping. Well, Ace Deuce Jack 8 one hand, Ace Deuce Jack 8 the next hand. What are we playing? We're playing 8 game? We are playing 8 game. You know what? We might sit in another game and see if we can start a different one or see if someone else is waiting. Because as much as I love 8 game, let's see if we can start something else too. Do love me some Dirty Dozen, even though yesterday I feel like it was one of the more frustrating sessions where I just got in kind of weird spot after weird spot. Because as much as you train and practice, sometimes players do some things that are not supposed to be things that do become things, and then they put yourselves in weird positions where they can be things. All right, limit hold them here. the min-raise variety of the popular version of the game. And I will try not to slow the game down, but I'm trying to see if there's anyone else sitting in anything else. There's a 1-2 Super Circus, but I'm not gonna... There's no seat open, so let's see if we can find... Gotta be a mixed game. Must be a mixed game. That is also part of the challenge here. It must be a mixed game. So, let's see if we can get this one up. Yep, there it is. And we'll sit down and see if we'll play or see if he wants to wait. But either way. Let's get a couple games going. This is the Dirty Dozen and the 8 game. Alright, 10-4 in Limit Hold'em. I have to look with this one up there later. This one's really bad, obviously. No pressure. No worries. No. Hopefully we get some more. Break. And draw. All right, Badusi, sorry. 7-5-4-3-2. 5-4-3-2 is the best Badugi. Here against the 3-3 spot with 5-7. We totally break and catch, no significant blockers whatsoever. So I actually think that this is kind of close to the bottom of my range. And I'm going to give this one up. And 9-7 here. Hold on, we're going to fold this one. Oh, this is a limp. I should have just limped behind. I wasn't thinking. I got my limits mixed up here. But usually you don't see players coming in for a limp, so... Oh, thank you, thank you. Alright, here. Let's see. Can I raise the 5-4? We do have a queen-queen, but this is a little bit too rough to pat, so we can just draw 3. Good news is on the limit hold'em table we missed with the 9-7, but... Yeah, again, usually if in limit hold'em, like, there's some theoretical cold calls in some situations, but there is, for the most part, no open cold calling. You should just be open raising in just most games when there's a button involved. Fold. And ace-4 here in the cutoff. This is close with this player sitting out. I think I'm gonna and not the best flop texture. I think I do some checking, some betting, but no hearts. I'm just gonna go ahead and check this one. And against a bet on the turn, like, I don't love my hand, but I still think calling with ace-high and the gut shot is probably worth something, so. Kind of close on the river. I beat a lot of king highs, queen highs, jack highs. Probably get her on this board, river pair and call. He does have a pair of 5s, interesting. Interesting that he decided to limp and then value bet the 5 on every street, so. Here in the low limit streets, obviously part of the Dirty dozen here. And over on the other table, we are playing stud 8 or better. I cannot stress enough, if you guys are watching my stuff, you need to go watch the 100K on PokerGo. It is still free at this moment in time. I don't know how long it's going to be free for. I don't know if they're just going to keep it up on YouTube or not. But there are so many good, interesting stud spots that you definitely need to go and watch it and kind of learn from the commentary. It's just phenomenal. 2-3-6, kind of close actually with respect to like a wide range spot. Thinking a 1-1, I can do some leading, just because I improved to one card street. My opponent here can also check back sometimes, and he can also just fold too. All right, kind of close here with the 7-8-9 against Derek's open. I think I'm gonna let this one go. And then 6-8 here in Badoogie. Again, we're really wide in this game on the button. We do improve to a 3-card 6. And this is a situation where you can consider like raising, you can consider calling. I think I'm just going to go ahead and raise. I would expect that my opponents here are pretty wide. If we get 3-bet, then so be it. And he does fold right away, so that's also a good thing to know. One card here on the button. And we'll bring it over to the other table when we get a chance as well, but there we go. Over here we got 3-8. We're going to draw 2. Prove to a 3-card 6. Probably in just like this wide range spot in general. If we're continuing with one card, want to bet. And given that my opponent improved to 1 card here, he usually is representing a strong 3 card. The price we're getting though is pretty good, so I still think we're calling and drawing. And then on the river we're just going to check, and then if he bets, given the fact that he's been a little bit passive in some spots, I think we're going to give him a little bit of credit here and fold with 6-5-3. Study. Interesting one here. I'm gonna go ahead and limp and try to get in for a free. Again, if you haven't watched the 100K, go watch it. You'll find some interesting spots to consider. What are we playing? Study or better on the other table? All right. Catch an ace there. Same thing here. Wide range versus like somewhat wide range. We catch good, they don't. We do win this one. And our opponent in the heads-up game catches really good. Now here I'm going to limp with the queen, queen, ace, but I do have an ace blocker, so we'll see how this one kind of pans out. And given this is a heads-up table, I think I'm still going to peel here. And then over on table 1 with the split queens with an ace, we're going to go ahead and call. And we make 3 queens right away. And we're just going to donk right into everyone. And we have 85 low on the other table, so we do have a wheel draw, but in aces. And we're going to go ahead and check this one again. And that's interesting. I mean, he's representing basically trips in this situation, so nothing else to do but the 3-bet the queens. And then call with the other one, and he has 3 pair? 6s? Well, 4's full, we chop. Now, Derek's raise is representing like a really strong high hand, but, I mean, I'm playing the right game, right? Because, I mean, I have I cannot be beat. I have 3 queens in this situation. Now, I don't want to see his board pair. Now, if Derek raises the situation, this is actually quite good for me. I'm just perplexed. But yeah, I get it. Like at this point, run up to this guy's like kind of representing a pair draw, I guess. And then we're obviously re-raising behind, given the way that run-ups played this hand, and then we're just checking our hand here on the river. And he makes 6s full of 5s. Wow. What a freaking hand, and we're just... What just happened in that one? Timed out over here. Yeah, that hand was brutal to say the least. Not folding kings with the ace, kings and 10s. I think this is one that's kind of close. In a wide range spot, I think we go ahead and open. Oh, sorry, I'm on the other table. And we call. We block an ace, we block a king too, so we make 10s full, so we'll go for a random check raise if he does have a flush. Over here, we stole and got called. And we'll put in one more bet just in case. And we call. Yeah. And this is a bet that I'm just hoping to get my opponent to fold ace king high, which he does, which is great news for me. So definitely want to go back though to the other hand. Just not a better deuce through 7 here. I'm gonna fold this one. Fold the triple draw. Let's see this. Get dealt the straight and deuce to 7, unfortunately. So wow, Derek went absolutely in. So here I'll show this one here in a second. There we go. Let's see, triple draw here with the 5-8-7 as a fold. But 5s and 6s. Call here, defend in the deuce to 7 game. We'll get there in a second. No point raising, calling. Discard one. Kind of a wide range spot here when I pair 4s. I think I'm going to go ahead and bet. I tend to probably have the best draw here against a small blind open. Plus I can get him to break some things sometimes. And we can make 87. And if it goes bet here, I think we raise. Yeah, and obviously if we get checked here, easy bet. Does fold. All right, let's go back to the other hand really fast. So that hand where we put in all that action with the queens. We can see Derek had jacks and 4s, and I mean, I guess he was just trying to get it all in and be done with. My other opponent over here, run up to Sky, he had most likely ace 5-6 and made pair of 5s. I mean, I had trips on 4th Street, so pair of 5s and then 6s and 5s. And yeah, he just made the six. I mean, I guess he made the six on the. Guess he made a full house on 6th Street, and then that was that. And then we obviously didn't improve. So just kind of a brutal all around hand for us, but so be it. I mean, that's kind of the nature of the game sometimes, is you just, you know. I mean, in all fairness, too, like, I didn't think... I thought there was a second when Run Up to the Sky didn't pair his hand that... you know, he could have something like... 2 pair with, like, aces or something like that. Well, obviously, we didn't want the board to pair in that situation, but... just trying to see what we have. We have ace deuce. Yeah, we're not like blocking any of his pairs. I mean, Derek's... We got a jack and a 4 that are dead for Derek. Yeah, Derek just kind of... I mean, just went to town, I guess, with his hand. And Run-Up's got a really tricky spot with his hand because obviously on... I think it was 5th Street if we go back to 5th Street. Real quick. Yeah, it goes back call. I mean, like, this is a kind of an awkward spot for Run-Up to Sky because he's got 2 pair. Here we go. Deuce to 7 here, deuce 3-7. I'm going to 3-bet this with the deuce blocker against someone who can easily have 1 card draw. Seen a 10 and a jack. When he checks, I'm going to go ahead and bet. Take 1. And now he bets, and I'm going to call. Kind of interesting because I feel like there shouldn't be too many value bets here, given the way he's played his hand. Like the way I've played my hand, the way he's played his hand, I don't think there's a ton of value, so I'm gonna pay it off pretty light. He does have 86. I wonder if he had a 6-high straight draw. That would make some sense that he didn't 4-bet pre-flop and check the first draw. But we did see 2 8s, so. Alright, PLO capped in the other table. And against the min raise here, I think we can call. There is dead money in the middle, even though the graphics don't show it yet, so something we'll just be aware of. Probably even if we make a flush with this hand, we're not putting in any more action. Yeah, I guess if we make a 6, theoretically, we're probably going to bet the river, but just about it. Alright, jacks and 5s here. No ace. Do have a spade, but I don't think it's super important here. The only thing that I think I have going for me is I blocked some of the straights, but I'll just go ahead and check this one. Now I think it's interesting to kind of turn my hand into a bluff here if no one bets. But against the bet, just clear fold. playing no limit capped on the other table. And I lost it. Interesting. There we go. Nothing there. No queen 9 over here. Offsuit. Queen 9 suited? Yes. Oh, hello. The blades. Where is it? I haven't seen the blades in a while. And we get that one through, unfortunately. Suited. Now, 40 big blinds, if you get raised into in your big blind, there tends to be some shoving. The ace-queen, like suited and stuff, want to 3-bet. They don't want to shove. Like, the ace-jack offsuit wants to shove. I mean, this is kind of an interesting spot, really, though, just to consider it. But it's 3x here, 13 something. I want to make it a little bit more. Out of position. Let's do that. 2193. And then if someone shoves, we pretty much call it off. So. And on that board, SPR of 1, there is no folding. And we call it off. Ace 9. And we hold. Get some back there. PLO table, limped in here, button limped. We have ace 884. We got limp behind. This is close against a 5x, to be completely honest. It's going to be hard to realize your equity out of position. I think I'm still going to call, though, but I don't love this one. And we do have aces and 4s. No limit hold'em. We get 3-bet. This might be one of the, like the suited king queen here might decide to go for a call. Let's start with a check. And in the PLO game, I think we're going to jam this one in with ace 4. And then I actually think we're going to check raise with the king queen on this table over here. And he snap shoves, and I guess we call it off. So queen 10 versus, no, chopping most likely. Ooh, wait a minute. Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Kicker. The kicker came into play there. Got some back after that stud 8 debacle. Gonna have to hide this one because it's still just staring me right in the face. But I just keep my hand histories up because then they're easier to pull up. Did we win that other hand? Let's see here. 7 card stud and fold. See if I can go pull this one up again. Give me a minute. Not sure if he folded or not. But the ace 4 hand, we had ace 4 8 8. I don't love like the way we played it per se, but yeah, he just folded right away. I will pull up this hand history as well when I get a chance. But I think again, when you're dealing with low SPR and cap games, there's not much you can realistically do. There we go. But he just folded right away when we check raised all in. All right, and then we're gonna hide this one. And then we'll go back to the other table because instead we have a hand here with the 3 diamonds. Cards, for the most part, are relatively pretty live. 8 of diamonds is the only one that I see that's missing at this point. And the other table we're playing Daisy. but we do not have a hand right now, so we're going to fold. Call this one. I still think we're going to peel. Cards are relatively live, and we're closing the action. And when Moxie pairs queens, the hand is over. Here with the ace king 9 against a 10 in late position, I think this is just going to be a 2-bet. And then he catches good, but we catch obviously a little bit better here. And he does fold, so probably had a lot of stuff going on. Early position instead with the ace up. Just going to let it go. I think people, when they start playing stud, I think tend to oversteal a little bit. My man Baldy over there, he is streaming the game today, so in his table. I'm not sure how many tables he's playing. Jack 7-8 here. I think I'm gonna fold to the ace behind. Excuse me. I wouldn't mind pulling it up in the background for him, but I've gotten some weird, for lack of a better term, reverb when I try to pull up his voice in the background of the game going on at the same time too, so I think I'm just going to stick with the music. An interesting board here for Baldy versus 4s and 3s. So there was a really good quote by Chris Fitch in the 100K, and it was a hand where we actually couldn't see the other player's hand, but it was an Omaha high-low hand where Albert Daher raised, and if I can get this hand again in the future, I will. Over here we're playing Badesi. We defend the big blind with the deuce 3. I'm going to draw 3. So Albert Daher has ace 4, deuce, deuce, and make ace deuce 3 check. Albert Daher has ace deuce, ace 4, deuce, deuce, and Nick Wagenti defends the big blind. We don't get to see his hand. And the flop comes ace 3, 4, all clubs. Daher's got the deuce of clubs, but no flush. And here we're just check calling, probably going to defend. When we get to the river with ace deuce 3, we're usually not folding here. And this is a situation where I think we actually go for a check raise, like a thin check raise, and unfortunately he does not go for it. So Daher bets the flop again. His hand is ace deuce deuce 4, and he's got 1 club. And Guagenti check raises a ace 4 3 all clubs flop. And he calls, and the river's a king of, or the turn is a king of spades, and Guagenti bets and Daher calls, which is pretty standard at this point. And the river's a 7 of clubs, and Guagenti checks. Now, Guagenti checking this river is one of those situations where like his hand kind of makes no sense. And what I mean by this is like anything that would have bet that flop should bet that river. And if he doesn't bet that river, then something is like wrong with his hand. And Chris made a really good observation about this. He basically said like, if something seems wrong with your opponent's hand, then, you know, you probably should just like, he's probably telling you a story that doesn't necessarily make as much sense. And I didn't. We still never got to see Guajinti's hand until the end. So on the end of the hand, he had I think it was a deuce 7 low, and then like made 7s and 4s with a live deuce. But Daher still had a better hand. And the reason I say this is because Baldy there, when your opponent like kind of has a good board and then checks you on the river, when he has 2 pair, he probably should make thin value there with 2 pair. And then here with the 9-6, I think we go ahead and call one more, getting a pretty good price. We have some backup there with deuce 6 as well. Oh, sorry. And we're gonna get scooped. I'm not a huge turn bet. I don't really love this turn bet. I think it's like fine, but I think it's probably okay. But when you're betting into the field, when it went raise, re-raise, pre-flop, you know, you're hoping to generate fold equity like on the river too, and you kind of just have to hit your hand. Especially when you unblock the pairs. And this is a hand here with ace, king, jack, deuce that we just go ahead and put a bunch of bets in. Unfortunately, we do not get to put a bunch of bets in. Here with the 8 deuce 3-6 Badoogie, the only way we play this hand probably is if it folds to us in the small blind, we limp. And Raz, we have a hand over here. Deuce 3-5. Would have flopped a little something with the deuce 3-8-6, but and here if the ace steals, we're going to re-steal with the 9 deuce 6 here. And on the other Raz table, we also have another hand we're going to play with the deuce 3-5. And so far, it's not really running out the best for us, but not folding yet. And unfortunately, I think we do have to fold now. The other Raz table where we catch good, our opponent does not. This one might be close here. I do have a 5 in my hand though, so I'm going to check it. And I think the fact that I have the best low draw, I mean, I don't have the best low draw by any means, but this is one where I would consider, I guess, folding. But he makes a full house, so there is no folding. And then over here we have the 7s with the wheel draw and the no limit single draw capped. Good start here. 7, 5, 4, 3 deuce is the best hand, so we have the draw to the best hand. And we make an extremely strong hand that basically we're probably going to stack off with, honestly. And this is probably one we were going to go for 2/3. I guess we can go for pot, actually. We can kind of be polar here. Unfortunately, not get the call. All right, 8, 3, 4, 6. Another strong draw, but we get the fold. Here with the Jack 10, this is one I think I'm just gonna fold. Like, part of me wants to 3-bet, but the problem is like playing this one out of position is really hard. Here we have 3, 4, 5, and I'm basically an all-high board. And if Baldy 2-bets me, I'm probably gonna 3-bet him back. Just because like it's just me and him, so he could theoretically 3-bet me with a wide range. even though it doesn't necessarily have to. But it's good for the stream. Catches a 10, we catch a jack, and basically in like a scenario like this one, I've like kind of defined my hand. I think there's nothing else to do. Call this one. This one's running out pretty rough. And call this one and hope to improve by the river. We do improve by the river. We make 86. Hello, bold move. Thank you for joining the mix. Baldy's thinking here. I don't know if he's inadvertently tanking or going for a check raise here. I mean, I'm going to go for a thin value bet here, but he does have 9-7. We got a little bit sticky there. But I definitely want to see what he says in the chat later in his stream, so it'll be fun. All right, 2-3-6 here. Obviously, easy open, strong hand. All right, we catch good. Our opponent catches good, and this is still like a wide, most likely paired. Like kind of a wide range spot where I think you just still kind of bet your board on the small street, but I think his range is a little bit stronger than mine, honestly. Here with the deuce 4-4-6 in the big blind against cutoff open, I'm going to go ahead and 3-bet this combination double suited. I would say mediocre flop, but not the worst. And on that turn card with our specific hand, I think we're going to go ahead and check. Don't have a straight, no 7. We do make a 6-high straight though on the river, so pretty simplistic bet. He does fold, so and you know, on the river too, like I'd be paying off with most live aces, so probably some sort of high hand that really has no pair. All right, nothing there with that one. And the Raz over here, folding. Button here, King Jack 9-3, right in the muck. Like Mr. Jenny was going to join the table there. All right, pillow capped in the dirty dozen. Pretty looking hand here with Queen, Queen, 10-5. And while we wait, we will defend over here with the 3-4-9-7 in the big blind, small blind versus big blind. Deuce on the turn. I'm gonna go ahead and check this one. And Diamond River, I think we're just gonna check fold, but if we get to check back, great. He did have a relatively big hand there on that flop. All right, whoops. Interesting one here against Baldy. We do have the overpair. I think if I'm going to bet this board, I'd prefer to have the jack in my hand. So I'm going to check this one back. Good card for our range, for sure. Playing a limit hold'em in on the other table. And with no spades and no real pair info, I think we're just going to check one more time. And now we're kind of stuck in a limit hold'em hand too. And that's a bad river for us. And on this river, he's basically just representing like spades and nothing else. So, oh, unfortunately, in that limit hold'em hand, we did lose to the Queen 8. Here with Ace 5 offsuit, I think this is close. but I'm going to let this one go. And then on the other table, in the PLO capped, we have the Blades double suited. Very nice hand. Not much else to do here except just pot it. We've lowered the SPR almost to 1. Obviously a pretty bad flop for us, but at SPR 1 we just jam and hope that the just jam and get the money in. SPR 2 would be probably a little bit tricky, but at this SPR we're not folding. And we have them in really bad shape actually. And we hold with aces. Alright, we're winning the big bet streaks today, which is interesting. Alright, limit hold'em on the other table. Jack 10 defended big blind against cutoff open. Flop goes check check. Kind of interesting turn card. This is one where I think I was I was gonna go ahead and check raise turn, but now on river, kind of just throwing up. This was like the only thing I can beat is a underpair to the board on the river, so probably should have just considered leading the turn, honestly, but I also think my opponent bets on the flop like queen jack, king queen, king jack, clubs. So I think more than likely there my opponent is kind of dead. Of course, if he's got that random ace x and hits that ace on the river, then I feel like I'm a little bit annoyed, but I think I played the hand fine. Maybe just lead turn, honestly, just in general. All right, 7 card stud. Here's a fold if we had the opportunity. The ace and the queen folded, we would have opened, but you know, it's fun in these cap games when you run really good in the big bet versions, because there's been so many times you win a couple min bets and then, you know, lose the big bets and you're stuck almost your buy-in. So Baldy opened pot there. Well, he opened 3.5x. I don't think it really matters per se. But again, the one thing that I think is a little bit misleading right now is if you can see up here, we'll have another PLO in, so you can see it, but there is dead money in the pot and it's not showing its point. But I did talk to some of the people at Phenom yesterday, and they said this was one of the fixes that is coming really fast. But they did put out the new table refactor, and everything looks great. I mean, in some ways I wish you could like downsize the board a little bit, because even if you change the cards out, I think the size of the cards is still the same. But I mean, it looks good, so. You know, it's one thing they're trying to do, is they're trying to build up and they're trying to improve. They also announced today that they have 3 new ambassadors. This is just a fun hand with Baldy, so I just want to watch this one play out. But it looks like Jungle Man, Victor Bloom, and someone that I'm not familiar with, Nemo. We'll see how that one goes out, though. But as you can see here over here too, now when you use the chat, it pops up right for you. Before the chat was very hard to read. But I'm not sure if so Baldy's opening 3.5x, and that's not a mistake per se at all. It's just kind of an interesting sizing choice, because like, you know, usually when you have a big ante, it's usually kind of like limp, pot, maybe small raise. Moxie goes here with like, again, like this min raise, and I have no problem against Moxie like set hunting and playing like very mediocre hands, just because like he chooses this min raise size. And on a lot of board textures, Moxie just pots. Moxie doesn't have like a half bet size. Moxie just pots. So It's more of like an exploit here with the 9s, but he does check, and I think I want to do like a fair bit of checking here with my flushes anyway, so check this one. And I thought we made a straight, but we did not. But I still think we don't. I still think we don't bet this river. Moxie does have kings and deuces and 8s. Yeah, but Moxie doesn't limp. He doesn't like 5x. He just min raises, which is a interesting strategy. So here the 7-3-5 against the king. I think I am going to defend it wide because I only have to call 125 into 575. And when he catches a suited 10, I think I'm just done with it, even though I do catch 3 clubs. This is stud high. This is last hand. Here with the split 8s with the 7 four-handed spot, I think I can just go ahead and open this one. Well, I'm definitely going to open this one. I'm going to play this one for sure. Badusi, 7-5-4-3-2, best low, 5-4-3-2 is the best Badugi. Straights and flushes do count against you, and aces play high. If you find yourself with a flush in this game, if you weren't dealt it, you were probably drawing pretty poorly. See what else is going on in the lobby right now. 10-20, 6-card PLO 8 or better. 5-10, 6-card PLO 8 or better. And is it Baldy? No, it's Huckseed playing. Pretty popular game right now, honestly, is the 6-card. And we got limit hold'em in the Dirty Dozen portion. I think, let's see. However, Eric might be playing the 5-10 game. No, that's still Huckseed too. Dirty Dozen, 8 game, Super Circus, Big O. There's a 50-100 hybrid mix. There's a 30-60 hybrid mix. All right, Badusi, we have 2-card here under the gun. We're going to fold that one. We'll show that one to everyone. Jack 9, 6-handed under the gun. I think this is close. I think we're going to open it. I'm going to just sit out next hand and pause it. Just so I can, my youngest son will, oh no, I took the big. I didn't mean to take the big. Well, I guess we will, whoops, whoa. Can I undo that? I somehow tiled the tables and I did not want to tile the tables. Hold on. There we go. Let's raise this one. Gut shot. Flush draw, backdoor flush draw. And we make the straight on the river. Ooh, we were up against it with ace jack. Turn a little extra equity there, so bet the turn. And then, sorry about that table. I tiled the tables and didn't even know I could do that. And we did sit out of this one, so we're gonna fold this, and then we're gonna go get my youngest, and I will be right back if I don't have a hand to play here. Stud 8 or better. Oh, it's a stud game. Sweet. So I can sit out next hand. But we are not folding the deuce 4-6 of spades. Oh, sorry. Wrong table. Trying to table him and figure him out. And he catches a suited 7, and I catch a 7. I think like this is kind of a fair spot to just go check sometimes. We open pair 4s. He makes a 3 flush with no pair. Let's check call. He catches my 4. We make 4s and deuces. We're going to check call again. Do have a 6 in our hand though, so. And we do make a better 8 if he does have a straight, so I think we're still going to just check call. And we're going to chop it. 7, 8, 5, 9, 10. Okay. All right, sitting out, sitting out. All right, I will be right back. I'm going to go get the baby. Hold on 1 second. Ironically, we accidentally posted on the gun with ace king here, so hopefully someone tries to take advantage of us. This is lovely. Oh, I didn't even see it. I accidentally posted under the gun, so and then we check it. And this is what you should be doing. Occasionally you should be checking your accidental post under the gun. And he does fold, so we'll take it. And then, oh, I must have had a free hand. Call this one. Free queen. But we are back. 1 to the wheel. We've seen 3 threes now, which is interesting. Still calling. Make an 8, and I think we just do some leading here. And sometimes we have our opponent dead. We do have 3 threes, like I said, in my hand, so still gonna definitely value bet here. And we get the fold. Ace 3-5 on the other table. Blue opens. Gonna go ahead and 3-bet this one out of position. And then in the deuce table here with its 4, 6, 7, I still think we're going to call against the raise and call. Draw. Kind of interesting here. It goes 1-1 blue versus me, and I make a queen. I still think I'm going to break. And same thing again. Do catch the deuce of hearts. Kind of an interesting spot here with the 8-7-6 draw. I think I'm going to draw 2 again. And blue did fold out of position. We do catch the almighty deuce. Moxie's pat. We got a lot of action going on here. Badugi over here. We 3-bet the 3-4-5. The deuce hand. We are check calling and drawing 1 again. We've seen 2 7s and an 8, which is interesting. He's going to be pat again. We catch a 9 now. I guess I expect Moxie to have, well, he checked 86, which I would not have checked 86. Bet, sorry. In the Badugi. We do make the jack. And our opponent bets here, and I think we go ahead and just call and then probably try to get this hand to shut out. This would have been an interesting one to actually consider raising. But I still think we stand pat with the jack 5, and we get bet into on the river. Just call. We do lose. It's a pretty loose open there with the 3-card 9 at best. Deuce to 7 triple draw. We have a bonus hand from back in the day. 52 points would have been worth a fair bit of money. Ace 4-7 here in the hijack. Open with an extra ace blocker. All right, no limit hold'em cap here with ace 9. I believe we just pitched this one offsuit. And then in Badugi again, we have an interesting combination here with the 3-5-6. He draws 1, and again, this one is close. I think I am going to ditch the queen. Probably check the second draw back with 3-5-6 if we do not improve. And we have a hand where if we get bet into, we definitely raise. And if check 2, we definitely bet. I think 3-5-6 is close if you look at the distribution of what 3 cards our opponent's probably calling there from the small blind. And that's why I decided to check back turn. I don't think he's got all 7s. If he's got all 7s, then probably any 6 is probably close to a bet. Or sorry, any 3 card 6 is close to a bet. See if we can keep running hot in the big bet portions. 7 card stud, limit Omaha 8. And we're getting close to the point where I usually call it a stream because I'm going to have to go start cooking here in a little bit. Ace 5 off, and I'm going to believe a fold. Say I believe it's something that I have not worked extensively on because I feel like no limit hold'em, even when we had cap games in our mixed games, no limit hold'em was still not a part of it. So Queen 4 offsuit here. I think this is just a muck, even given the fact that there's a fair big blind ante in there. Baseball, he's just going to 3-bet. He just looks like a no-limit player. He just has to do it. Do it, Baldy. Come on. Don't. Oh, you call? All right. All right, stud 8 are better on the other table over here. I feel like the aces are completing at a pretty high clip. Honestly, this is somewhat close here. Like, I think if we get re-jammed here, we'll probably end up folding this one, but I think like a lot of the low cards are not incentivized to jam just because the ace is the one that brought it in. All my diamonds were live. Kind of my middling cards and my pair cards were live. I don't think we would call here with like Queen 9 deuce flush draw. The ace catch is good. 7 breaks out. I think we're going to peel one more. And, well, easy check here. I guess it kind of looks like we might have like some sort of straight draw, low draw. And then they all caught my low diamonds, unfortunately. And we did get to see a run out, and we still make queen high, but no betting on this hand. It's one of those spots where I don't think like we ever bluff theoretically. Did ace high just win that hand? No low? Wow. All right. That was an interesting one. King 9 off here in the muck. Sorry. Wrong table. King 9 off to the button raise muck. Fold the 3 diamonds with 3 other cards behind me. Where'd my music go? There we go. Alright, 7 card stud in the other game. Split 8s with a buried 9. Mr. Baldy 2-bets us. And the 7 cold calls and the 3 cold calls. Well, I guess there's not too much to do here except see 4th Street. and everyone kind of catches something. Don't think we're folding here. Baldy could raise behind us theoretically, but I do block a lot of the hands that he could theoretically raise with us, except like 10-10. He does raise. Still think I'm seeing another one though. Now we make open jacks, and Baldy's 9s are dead, which is really interesting, but now the other player over here makes open 7s too. So this has just become kind of a really interesting hand, because Baldy's representing a big pair in the hole, and he's representing like aces or trip 7s. And now he catches, wow, what a crazy hand this is. And now he catches the 7. I'm like so perplexed with this hand right now. And we block a lot of Baldy's straights. I mean, I guess we're seeing a river here. Kind of make them fire the last bullet. Now we catch kings up. What a weird hand. We do have a deuce hand on the other table, but I'm just so interested in this hand here. I mean, I kind of want to raise this hand against Baldy. This is just, I mean, I guess levitation is representing ace 7 and just trying to trap us in there. Man, I guess I'm just pure folding this one given the action, but just a weird hand. I mean, that would make some sense. Oh, he makes an ace-high flush. That hand was just weird. 5, 6, 7. And we've seen on this table, this is an interesting one because I'm pretty sure we've seen 3 deuces this hand, but obviously I'm not folding 87. 2 aces and I have an ace dead in my hand with ace, king, queen here in the stud game. I'm going to go ahead and 2-bet it. This is kind of just a re-steal situation. I didn't see Baldy's hand. I definitely want to go back and see Baldy's hand. Moxie calls with a 6, so that hand's usually like a flush draw. Made open 8s against open 6s. And I don't think Moxie just has like, yeah, Moxie shouldn't have like split 6s here. That doesn't make too much sense. Oh, sorry, that was the other table. But now we are in the deuce hand and we make 3, 4, 7, 10. We pat this hand with a straight draw. Go ahead and bet this one. We do have split aces in the stud game. I definitely want to go back and see that stud hand and see what Baldy had. Because I thought about check raising Baldy because he thought about it. It was more of like a timing tell, and I'm pretty sure that I had the best hand. So let's see if we can go find that one. Bring it in here. And then we will look it up. Played some interesting stud hands. Probably just more along the lines of sometimes you're trying to figure this one out and you're not quite sure what your opponent's ranges are looking like. Yeah, we correctly surmised that against Baldy we did have the best hand. It's just kind of a weird hand. Like none of it really made too much sense, I would say. Just because if we go back a little bit, let's see if we can go back here. Yeah, it was pretty obvious. Like I think like Baldy had kind of a big pair in the hole, which made sense. And then we make kings up, and he thought about it. I think it was an interesting spot for me to consider check raising. I think I was going to go for a thin check raise just because I blocked a lot of the full houses. The 9s weren't out there. The 10s were theoretically live, but I didn't think he was going to tank the river and then bet. So that was kind of an interesting one. And then, yeah, at the river. So levitation called pre-flop would probably 6, 7, 8, and then call it an ace, and then bet into the field. That seems a little bit optimistic, I would say, for sure. Given the action where I raised early and then Baldy 3-bet me. Now, his hand is probably weak enough that he probably should have folded, but firing the ace into the field, I think is a mistake, unless he was just playing the wrong game. I mean, there's definitely a chance of that, given the fact that you know, his hand structure here just kind of looks like a stud high low hand. But you know, it was the first hand, so who knows? I'm not gonna blame him too much for that either way. But he did make a very nice hand. And the lead, I guess the lead also there makes a little bit of sense too if he was playing stud 8 or better. Baldy continues here. I'm catching good. He's catching not great. I do have ace high here. He does fold. All right, limit 08. Cut off here with ace, jack, jack, queen. This is probably really close. It is a four-handed game, though, theoretically, so. Interesting, his name's up here. I wonder if they made him a pro. Flop top pair here, 2 straight blockers, backdoor hearts. I think we go ahead and bet this flop. I think we do like a fair bit of checking on this board texture. The deuce also technically like helps our range a little bit too. And we get the fold. Put the hand history back up over on the side. Fortunately, we will now be playing the 6, 6, 6, 7. All right, about 10 more minutes, and then go make some dinner. PLO capped in the the Dirty Dozen format. That is Dirty Dozen format. This hand multi-way, I think, would be probably just fine to fold. Against blue heads up, I think we could probably call. Technically, we're three-handed right here with the 4, 4, 6, 7. This is probably, again, close in the Omaha game. Could be just a 3-bet, but could be a fold. This is probably just a very, what do we call this, like cuspy hand in many ways. Ace 10 queen deuce here in the small blind against a button. I think we're going to call this one. And with the wrap in the Omaha game, I decided to call turn. I do make a low on the river. Kind of a mediocre low. Is now rating with a party of 7. What? Is rating with a party of 7? What does that mean? Call river. Take my money, everyone. All right, Omaha open ace 10, 10, 7. Full pot on the turn here by D-Moose. This is probably just a fold. And then here against Moxie, this is a fold. Jaco Victor Botau? I cannot pronounce that. Thank you for subscribing. We get the walk with the ace queen 3 deuce, unfortunately. And everyone's sitting out. What's going on here? We got a 6-handed table with no one in it. All right, 4-4. We got res. All right, let's do this one. Unless they're just having trouble with the tables getting chips in. What? What? I want a screenshot of this. I was going to screenshot that. Everyone's sitting out. playing PLO captain the other table. Had my fill of losing pots to you for the day. Oh, this is a tricky one now. 9 draw. Yeah, you're going to probably get this one, sir. All right, we limped over in the other table with the 7-10-9 jack in early position, and we got the Jinsky with the Jinsky redraw with the Jinsky redraw. So I think I'm going to go ahead and just flat this one and let my opponent do his worst on the turn here. I wonder if Mr. Basebaldy would approve, but I'm pretty sure he would. 9-10 with the redraw, and he's drawn dead. Thank you, Mr. Baldy. You taught me that one. I don't know if you did or did not, but that was a fun one. You know, this was a crazy table. It went from full to heads up in no time at all. Baldy, you left, man. You left and you chased them all away. All right. I'm going to fold this one. I'm going to sit on this one too, and we'll go over the other table. So. Oh, I did it again. I tiled the tables. Hold on. I'm not used to that tile button now. Oh, wait. That's the wrong one. I don't want that. I don't want that one. I'll get it right. I'll get it right. Give me time, guys. There we go. All right, Badesi, 75432. Or that's Badusi. 54321. Now let's sit back in this one. And we're gonna fold PLO. And now we're sitting out. We're gonna tell him GG. All right, Badesi's 54321, 4321 Badugi, best hand. Let's see if I can get this table right over here. Can anyone explain what a raider? What is a raiding party? What is a raider? Did I get all Baldy's subscribers over here really fast? Please tell me I did. Oh, how do I get this one out of there? Anyone know how I get rid of the spammer? Delete. There we go. Let's delete it. All right, we did it. All right, ace 3-6 here. I'm not going to fold this one. Let's see what we got next, just because we got Raz and no limit deuce capped. All right, probably play another no limit deuce capped and then call it a day. Come on, Blue, give me some action. Ace 4-7 here in the hijack. This is probably close. I think this is probably still an open in mid-ace. We can also reduce. Ace to 5, this would be a little bit too liberal, I believe. Ace 5-7 is probably really close. It's probably like somewhat of the inflection point, meaning it doesn't really matter. But you know what? Everyone's here to watch me play, so let's play some hands. And your stream and send your viewers over to someone else's. I love it. All right. 2-2, we did reduce, but we didn't really improve our hand, so we're going to go ahead and check and draw 2 again. And in a situation here, definitely would probably go for some check raises in this situation, but no improvement in a relatively weakish 3 card. We're just going to let it go. Small pot. Rocky is in the game. Rocky 4. I don't know. Which one is that one? Is that the I Must Break You one? Sorry, Baldy. Just had to do it. This is fun. Getting some action. Can you guys hear the audio in the background? Can you... MUSIC. Alright, we'll play the Raz, we'll play the no limit deuce round, and then call it a day. Nope, no music on my end. Alright, hear about this. Fold the queen 3-4 against 2 players. We also need an ace in our hand too, so I'm just gonna let that one go. Alright, deuce 9-6, and this is one I'm going to go ahead and steal. I do have a deuce up. Don't think the 7s and 8s can really play black back at me at a high clip. If he does want to jam and try to like reduce the field, that's fine. But I think this one where we call. We're going to push the action here with an 8 against the king. Still betting. Don't love it, especially since I have a 6 in my hand. So it's less likely he paired the 6. Called the 9 here. Interesting. Now I'm in a situation here where I could definitely be dead because I'm drawing to a 98 and my opponent did catch a 9. He didn't pair that 6 most likely, so I think this is one where we're just going to make fold. Here with a 10 with all the low cards behind me, we're just going to muck this one too. If it was in later position, like say over here, this is one we could play, but with 3 low cards behind me, that can easily jam me out. And they're incentivized too to jam me out for what it's worth. Did you guys happen to watch the 100K? This should never get through, but occasionally they, my opponents do miss the spot where I would definitely open the King 9-6, or at least limp it, but not to that action. All right, no limit single draw capped. Last game, last 4 hands. I mean, against a min bet, I think I'm going to call the min bet, and if there's multiple people in the pot, I might just draw 2. But against a min bet, it's hard not to. And against blue drawing 1, I'm just going to draw 1 and just kind of play it like somewhat passively, I would say. I'm not Texas Mike. I'm not going broke with this hand. And against a pot size bet, I think this is just a clear fold. Nice looking one here with the deuce 3 4 8 with the extra pair of 3s. This is probably one with the extra pair that if we get 3-bet, we're probably going to just consider jamming with. Deuce 6, yeah, watch some of it. Yeah, 10-9 deuce 6 here in the hijack. This is going to be a fold. And then what is the, just out of curiosity, what's the next game? Limit Omaha 8. We'll stay around for a little bit more. We'll play one more round of Omaha 8. Alright, let me see if I can turn up just a little bit more. Yeah, we'll play the Omaha 8 round, and then we'll call it a day. Yeah, I'm taking notes on it so I can try to make a video. I've been trying to contact PokerGo. I've contacted them a couple times, but their response times have been quite bad, so I'll send up another follow-up email. But I've been trying to make a video with context, taking some screenshots, and then doing some analysis on what basically Chris is trying to say and kind of like explain it. But yeah, like his analysis in that format's been. Did I end up getting? No, I didn't get blocked. No, I did not. I think it's actually funny. I'm pretty sure Kessler's probably played 10 times as many Omaha high-low tournaments that I've ever played, and I still have more money won than he does. In that, just because I have a second and a fourth in the 10K plus 2 other cashes in that tournament, but he obviously did not know that. But I mean, like, the thing is too is you know. I think one thing that's super interesting about the whole Kessler thing is he basically wanted to imply here we're going to call the 2.5x open with the extra 10 here and just draw 1. If this was like 10-9-8, I think I would fold, but 10 smooth, I think this is a fine. And then, like, depending on what happens here, we can do some checking, do some betting. 10-9, I think I'm just going to go ahead and check and probably call, unless we get like $37 shoved into the middle here. And against that size, I think this is just an easy call with a 10. That's also the problem with playing some of these combos with like the 10s is like there's really nothing much else to do except just playing defensive. He does have a 9, nice hand. But like, you know, Kessler's like, what am I gonna say here? Kessler's basically like name to fame, or whatever you want to call it, is the fact that he's played so many tournaments. So if he's just played so many tournaments, like his live caches are going to be, you know, high up there. That doesn't necessarily mean he played them correctly, you know. And I think just taking some analysis, and if you can't defend your position on some of these things, you know, like, how well does he actually know the games? I mean, playing in a mixed game tournament, just one more. Yeah, that's King Jack 4-6 here on the button. It's just a fold. 6-handed, anyways. But sorry, completing my thought. Like, you know, if he's just put in a bunch of volume, he's just gonna have a bunch of caches. That doesn't mean anything. You know, like, one thing that if you ask, this is the difference between like asking a really good player, you know, like someone like Chris Fitch, and, you know, giving like kind of a breakdown versus Kessler. Kessler just kind of like tell you the bad beat if he had of his starting hand, and, you know, Vitch will explain like given the situations. And like, I have a lot of respect for Kessler and what he's done with respect to the tournament structures and tournaments in general. But, you know, like, he exaggerates everything on Twitter, and that's the problem. Is like, if people are trying to learn, and this is what I even said on Twitter, I said, you know, I'm trying to teach people mixed games, and if you're just saying something along the lines of like, my opponent made a terrible play, well, sometimes like his opponent makes a terrible play, and Kessler has like 1.5 bets left, you know, like there's no context. It's kind of the same thing of like, you ask a really good player, you know, the most general question in the world is like, oh, well, how do I play aces? I mean, there's so much more context to that, you know, like, are you like number 2 in chips on a satellite bubble with 100 players left? You know, you're just most likely just folding every hand. Well, if you're second, we'll say like 50th, right? But I mean, in that situation, you find folds with aces kind of thing. So like, every context matters, and that's one thing that Kessler is just really bad at doing. 10-10, 5-6 here under the gun. This is a close hand maybe on the button, but in early position, we're just going to let this one go. Small loser in this game. But all good. But yeah, I'll run down the stream here, so if you guys have any more questions for like 3 minutes or so after, then I can still answer them. But if you guys are watching on YouTube, obviously like, subscribe, do the stuff. Questions or comments down below. If you're looking to open a Phenom account, there are links everywhere, or you can use code LMG at sign up. Again, if you guys would like to do, Jay, if you want to do a review, man, record up to 1 hour and send it to me. I'm more than happy to do that. I can't pronounce it. Redusco, is it Redusco? Redusco? Let me know how I'm pronouncing it. Same thing on the table with you, man, but I know you play some of the bigger games too. But yeah, if you guys have any sort of other questions or going forward, just let me know. But until then, good luck at the tables. I will talk to all of you guys soon. Play well. Bye-bye.